podcast where there are 6 of us and we talk about games. Today is going to be a little bit of a different show than what you're used to because we're kicking off a new segment which we have not named, but it's basically a book club, but for games. And we will be talking this week about AM2R, another Metroid 2 remake. So stay tuned for that after the news.
I thought that we were calling it a book club, but with games or something like that.
Game club?
It's called like Game Club.
Yeah,
No,
Game Club.
Hold on,
Game
Jake.
club's a bad name.
Hold on.
Book
Wait,
club,
so
but for games.
Yeah, I like that better too.
Everyone speak at once.
Yeah, so Jake, why did you have to kill those 3 Metroids?
Don't end the podcast. Don't end the podcast. Don't end the podcast.
Ignore me.
All right, so Yoshi's Crafted World leaks following Nintendo Direct's delay.
Oh boy.
So
It looks like Woolly World, so it's probably going to be mediocre, but have a really nice charm.
You know,
yeah, that sounds about right.
outside of you guys, everyone says Woolly World is like amazing.
I think it's amazing. I don't have the same opinion as Mitch.
Okay.
Like I think it was too easy, but that's my only real complaint about the game.
I think it does what it does very well. But I mean, it had a really nice aesthetic, and we're not here to review it, but
Yeah.
it is a good game. It's just like
Great game, great
Like,
music,
compared
great
to-
level design.
compare it to Tropical Freeze, and it's just a lot more reason to play that.
Well,
Fair
yeah,
enough.
they're different games though. But yeah,
Very much.
if you're gonna play a platformer on the Wii U, Tropical Freeze is probably the pick. But Woolly World
you're
is good.
If you're gonna play a Yoshi game, Yoshi's Island still wins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of
But-
interesting that there hasn't been a Yoshi game to live up to.
if you want an easier Yoshi's Island and everything's made of yarn, Woolly World.
It will make you very happy.
Yes, it will. It is just very pleasing to play.
So is the stream running? Because I still keep getting like, it keeps linking me to last week's. Oh, there it works.
Yeah.
All right, never mind. I
Yeah.
just had to complain about it for it to work. Oh, hey, my pictures of my cat.
Yeah, so there's not really much in this leak. It's not much of a leak. It's more of just the name and
So how did this happen? Like how did this leak? Quote unquote.
It was probably something timed with the direct that was
Yeah.
supposed to launch today.
yeah, it
was
showed
my
up.
guess.
It showed up on a part of Nintendo's website.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was probably timed with the direct, and they missed one of the things. So
This is similar to when the Bloody Tears / Monster Dance mashup got quote unquote leaked.
I have no idea what you just said.
So okay, before the Smash Direct, someone titled the Galaga medley that's on the Smash Ultimate YouTube site as Bloody Tears / Monster Dance, and both of those songs are songs from Castlevania, specifically
Okay.
Castlevania 2.
Wait, was that the Red Eyes thing Sakurai was going on about?
Well, like we don't know, but people speculate it's either Bloody Tears or K. Rool, or nothing.
It was both.
Yeah, maybe it was both.
Still not one of them. Anyways, that's half our time for the news segment. So
it's been
It's
three.
like 2 minutes.
It's only been
We
3
started
minutes.
late. Yeah.
All right.
we didn't start 8. Okay.
Nintendo Direct. We kind of alluded to this, but it was delayed due to an earthquake in Japan.
Our condolences for the people affected. I think 8 people died.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's never good. Earthquakes suck. Japan sees a lot of them. So yeah,
Great, Mitch. Very good. Great, Jake.
no Nintendo Direct. So
There goes our whole show. How are we supposed to make a living if they're all dying?
nice.
Yeah, more than 150 people were injured.
That's really rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. You
Let's
can
not
tell. You can
just-
tell we're really good about giving our condolences to.
If you really want to make yourself like feel good, just go read like the retweets of that, like essentially the comment section, and you'll feel very good about being a human.
Yeah, dude, holy crap, there's so many
You'll
people.
wish the rest of them were not, but you will.
You mean like people like complaining about this or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, demanding
Okay.
retribution.
Let's open them on.
Oh God! All right, we're gonna go into not safe for work mode here. We're gonna go incognito. We're gonna need to change our voices.
Yep. I mean,
People say at least 7 people died, so sorry about that. But either way.
So it's okay. At least the ones I'm seeing, everyone's saying like that's fine.
Just don't go to 4chan.
I mean,
Just
4chan's
as a
4chan.
general rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
probably.
go to 4chan.
Certainly don't go to 4chan if you're looking for anything positive or.
This is an E for everyone stream, usually. Like 90% of the time.
Apparent.
10%.
Like 9% of the time.
Yeah, there you go.
I've definitely let all my fair share of F-bombs
Oh
out.
god, no, not that, Jake. Anything but that.
What?
Oh, I thought that Sonic GIF was gonna go somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
So what new segment are we on?
All right, we were just talking about the earthquake in
Okay.
Japan.
There's so many good people in the world.
Yeah. And moving on to the last news topic. Olympics chief says video games won't be allowed because they're too violent. He says killer games are against the spirit of the Olympics.
Don't people like die in the Olympics?
Yeah, but they're not
Yeah,
killed
so
by
if-
other people. I could kind of
so-
see what he's saying, but
Violent video games are no good, but will exploit 12-year-old kids who are good at
nope,
gymnastics.
not 12-year-olds. They can't get into the Olympics.
What's the age limit?
I think it's
14?
16.
16, okay.
Yeah.
Do they have, like chess
Yeah,
there?
technically.
Yeah, it's sort of confusing to me. Okay, this article title is a little sensationalized. He's not saying that video games won't be allowed in general because they're too violent. He's saying that violent video games will not be allowed in the Olympics.
So
Oh,
chat.
that's very
Well,
sensational.
and
now we need a
That-
definition.
That's a
So now we
completely
can play
different story.
Tetris at the Olympics.
Yeah, he says like so-called killer. He's like, we cannot have in the Olympics program a game which is promoting violence or discrimination. So-called killer games. They, from our point of view, are contradictory to Olympic values and therefore should not be accepted.
So no
I could
Counter-Strike.
understand that
So
point too.
no competing.
Sorry, what do you mean, bitch?
Yeah, what?
It's like no going head to head with anyone.
No games that promote violence.
No.
What?
So basically, like no FPSs, like no Counter Strike, no.
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
Lame.
Yeah, and maybe even that also might qualify to no fighting games or no.
No, because in another paragraph he talked about like how he acknowledged the irony about how boxing and wrestling are in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm assuming fighting games are fine.
I could imagine like
Well, some
going
fighting
against-
games, some
Yeah, I was
games
gonna
like Mortal Kombat would probably be an
Yeah.
easy no.
Yeah. I'm sure
I was about to
Smash
mention.
should
I
get
think
in.
that would be the one that he would specifically say. Like fighting games might be fine, but Mortal Kombat straight up no, because it's built on that gore and that violence. Like that was its selling point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I don't know how he would feel about games that involve like shooting people, like in a fighting game. Like
Yeah.
Injustice might not.
Right.
You're saying they need to keep Snake out of Smash.
He does use missiles. Yeah.
I don't think Smash was ever on the table to get into the Olympics anytime soon, anyway. So I wonder what that means for a game like League of Legends, like a cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, like games that would be like considered for Olympics. I would say Counter-Strike, which this clearly eliminates. StarCraft is definitely considered one of the higher skill games. League of Legends, just for maybe not higher skill, but for its publicity.
Overwatch.
What other
Overwatch, still good too.
Overwatch?
Overwatch
Overwatch is
was eliminated.
Kind of one of the more likely ones.
It was
I would
eliminated?
think.
No, I'm saying it's eliminated by this comment probably.
You think it's too violent?
I mean, games where he basically said games where the goal is to kill people is what he's
Mm.
against.
I feel
Games
like there'd
are
be
pro-
some.
Games that
Yeah,
promote violence. So
So pretty much he wants like I don't know.
Tetris.
sports.
Tetris, Pac-Man.
Overwatch is cartoony though. You know.
yeah, but I don't think he didn't
mean,
say
you
that.
still,
He
like,
didn't
blow
say games
people
that are
up.
gory or games that are realistic. He said games that promote violence.
Again,
Which is pretty much all of them except like puzzle games.
I mean, the best we can do is speculate. So, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to see Monster Hunter speed running at the Olympics. That'd be cool.
Monster Hunter speedrunning.
Speedrunning at the Olympics. There you go. That's what we want to
Yeah.
see.
That
might
would be
be
really
right.
weird.
That'd be
Epic.
super weird.
For video games at the Olympics in the first place. I don't know.
I would think poker would make it into the Olympics before video games.
Or chess or
Poker's
something.
not there. Wow.
No non-sports are. That's a kind of
if
interesting
like
thing.
chess isn't in, then
Yeah.
I don't see it happening.
I feel like chess has been around way longer. Actually, I know that.
Yes, chess has been.
That's a poor way to word that.
Chess has probably been around longer than most of the Olympic sports.
Certainly been around longer than I have.
Yeah.
Like I think most of the Olympic sports have been invented in the past. Maybe not, but have been invented more recently than chess. But anyway, I think that's all we got for news today. So we got through that in 10 minutes, guys. Not bad.
Not bad.
We do
Yeah,
have
not
one.
bad at all.
We do have one more news topic, but that'll come after our main topic of the night, AM2R.
Mhm.
And of course, I opened it up to Mitch's video showing the screen.
Alright,
Why
what we
is
gonna
this
do?
in the game?
I guess I could just talk about the video, and that'd be good starting points. So I'm gonna start from the beginning.
I mean, if we want, we can.
I was the only one who
Ma-
apparently put effort into my thoughts.
I mean, I
Damn.
have
That
like, two
is not
pages.
true.
That is just
I
not.
know.
Just 'cause they aren't on paper?
I'm sorry, I have to troll.
Nice. So, yeah, Mitch, if we want, we can go through your video and like pause it.
I can
Like,
just
tell-
talk about what we're seeing here.
Yeah.
So we start
So,
off.
well, here, just tell me when to start it, and we can kind of. So that way.
I'm watching it like 5 seconds after you're saying things. So, yeah, the AI is super dumb and easily exploitable.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can
Yeah,
play it.
it's playing. Huh, this continuous that's the continuous jumping thing I see.
The space.
Yeah, they give you the ability to fly.
Yeah, I am not a huge fan of that, but
Well,
whatever.
All right, let's
Interesting.
talk about flying, because that actually gets to my whole like moving around the game issue. Is that so? The controls suck, right? I've said that, and
Hey, no, but okay.
so the platforming in the game is set up in such a way that it's just infuriating, and
Nope.
pretty
It's
much
not,
moving
but
around the
alright.
map is
It's
just
really not,
obnoxious.
but okay.
At some point,
Wow, let the man speak.
the game just says, "Screw it, we're done trying to make level design. Just give them the ability to fly." We don't have to
Okay.
design
Yeah.
levels if they can just fly.
I don't see it like that, but okay.
I don't see at all
I
what you're
was
talking about.
Mostly infuriated moving around the level. And then they gave me the ability to fly. It's like, oh, good. I can finally just ignore the game design.
So what infuriated you? Just jumping from one platform to another, or just?
That's part of it. It's just
Okay.
like Samus. I almost call her Metroid. Oh my god, Samus controls.
Why can't Metroid crawl?
Why can't Metroid crawl?
Well, Zelda. The way like the weight carries her, like you'll go flying past the platform or way before it. It's just really hard to control your jumps.
I
And, like,
guess
if you hit-
it doesn't
I-
control like a
Okay, so part of
platformer.
that-
I
I would- I
super
will say-
disagree with that.
Yeah, I have
say-
no idea.
I think there is a lot of mastery here, which is mostly where I get disappointed. Because there's another clip in here where I'm about to miss a jump and then I roll into a ball and just barely make it. It's just the game has the tools, just never asks you to use them. Like it designs the levels in such a way that you have no incentive to really try to do anything, if that makes sense.
No.
It doesn't.
Can you
No, okay.
elaborate?
Yeah, I think I need some help on that.
Alright, let me dig through my notes, see if I wrote that down. 'Cause again, I beat this like 4 days ago. Carry on with the video then.
Why is this in the game?
Alright, that's mostly just the waiting.
Okay, I agree with you
Like-
on that. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Why?
Some
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
binaries.
They
yeah.
give you the ability later. This isn't even an ability, but later, like you blow up one, it blows up all of them. Like, why wasn't that just a thing? Why did you have to do this?
Well, no, it's just
No, some areas just do that, and some areas just don't.
Wait,
like
what are you
Mhm.
talking
from the beginning of like getting the bombs, some of the things do that, like where they all blow up together. But yeah, I don't know.
it's just there's some like platforms in the game where there's like a continuous section of bomb like blocks, but that doesn't that didn't need to be there. You know, I agree with Mitchie. I didn't understand why that was in the game because it's just like it just felt like padding.
Yeah, it's just waiting.
And this one was just this boss was just like
Yeah, the tank boss.
you know, just stand there and shoot. Like I don't.
Wasn't a huge fan of the tank.
Everything's just happening. There's so many flashing lights, so many miss. Everything's just happening at once. I thought I was about to get epilepsy. I was just standing there spamming X. Like
I didn't realize this part was scripted.
I assumed it was because I made it.
Yeah, because like my bar jumped to the end.
Yeah.
Oh, that didn't happen to me. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the tank boss either. I didn't hate him, but I thought he was I guess.
This enemies one. All right, this isn't the best clip, but it's the one I got because I didn't start recording until like halfway through. Essentially, the point here is that the Metroids can all be defeated by standing still and spamming missiles because you just have so much health and so many missiles. And
Yeah.
I give it the the whole Bayonetta treatment of yeah, you can beat the game by spamming X, but you don't have to. It's not a huge deal. It's just something that I felt there were so many Metroids that they really should have just given you a way to just be like Screw Attack. Why doesn't Screw Attack just kill them? You've already
Some of
beaten
the
30 of them.
I wish that the Metroids were like a lot harder to beat, but
Yes.
didn't have such tiny hurt boxes.
Yeah.
I
Yep,
wish there
yep,
was some
yep.
variation between them. Like
Hmm.
you have two of the weakest type. Give them a different moves or something. Like, why are they exactly the same? The only thing that changes is the area you're in, which can either make them incredibly frustrating or just stand there and stun lock them.
That's my main. Once I get into my
that was
points,
another thing. The environment like hugely changed the fight.
I think
Yeah.
changing the fights in the environment is good. My issue is that the bosses themselves did not change at all.
No.
see, I don't know if I
Yeah.
have a problem with that. The boss is not changing.
I mean,
I don't know.
once you get into the nest, the environment's literally the same. They stopped changing it. Like
Yeah.
they just they pulled the classic Mega Man. No one's gonna make it this far. Just give up. Just throw some gooey shit in there and call it a boss.
Yeah, I thought some of the environments the bosses were in were kind of bad, but I'll explain that later.
I mean, now's the best time.
Okay, well,
This isn't my show.
so for the Omega Metroids, okay. First of all, you fight some Metroids in the dark. Why?
I actually don't remember that.
Mauricio, what was
Yeah, I
that?
don't know what you're talking about.
What do you mean?
I don't remember fighting them in the dark.
Or maybe I just
Oh,
didn't
you
turn
don't?
on the light switch. Before.
Yeah, there's a level where you have to fight him in the dark. Where you have to do like a bunch of stuff in the dark.
I don't,
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was just poor game design in my opinion.
I'll give it.
I
to
get what they were going for, but like,
I mean, I kind of saw it as, I mean, you already know how to kill these things, and I'm sure, just adding more to a room isn't really much more of a challenge. So it's like, all right, let's take away one of your senses, not senses, but like, let's hinder you in a way that you haven't been hindered before, and see how you react to that.
Okay.
What kind of Metroid was it?
one you fight an Omega Metroid in the dark, and I think you fight a Gamma Metroid in the dark.
See, the Gammas I really don't remember because I literally just stood still and shot rockets.
No,
at
maybe
them,
not
and that's how
Gamma,
you fight.
the Zeta ones. I'm sorry,
All right, you're gonna have to go with: is it a ball or a T-Rex?
Oh, those are the gamma.
the T-Rex.
Is it a Yoshi or a Burgo?
Because the terrain actually kind of mattered for the middle ones. Because you
Yeah.
could get them stuck and
Well,
shoot
they
at
did
diagonal, and
more
they would
interesting
come near
things
you.
with the terrain with the middle ones. I feel like the terrain would have mattered for all of them, especially the Zeta Metroids. But they did the most interesting things with the Gamma Metroid terrains.
Yeah,
Because the middle ones were the hardest when there was no terrain at all. It's just a room, and there was nothing for it to
to land
stun
on.
lock it on.
Oh yeah, you have Sunlock. Yeah, I remember.
There
that.
was
You
this
don't
one.
have to stun lock. You just stand still and shoot.
Yeah, that's
It
way.
would eventually.
I mean, at a certain like, okay, so you know how like just like an hour ago I hit the 5 Alpha Metroid room.
Yeah.
I literally like crouched in a corner, aimed diagonally up, and spammed the missile button until they all died.
See, I feel like the game would be very interesting if you went for a no-hit run.
That'd be impossible.
I just don't think it's built for that.
It would just be too difficult.
Yeah,
What about a 1 health tank run?
that's possible. But
That's
actually,
fine.
I don't
That
know
would
if
still
you
that
can
would still
find
give you a reasonable challenge.
reasonable.
some of
That's
these
still
bosses,
hard.
or some of these, like the big T-Rexes, like they turn around, and half the screen is just their hitbox now. It's like
What?
it's just
I
really
missed the T-Rexes when I was shooting at their butt.
you shot their butt.
Maybe that's why I found the T-Rexes so hard.
No, I mean not their hitbox, not their hurtbox.
Yeah,
Like the thing they use to hurt you.
Oh, yeah.
Like you jump over them, they turn around, and it would just like their head would teleport straight onto you, and it's just like, all right.
okay. So
I just think there's too much crap like that in the game.
speaking of the T-Rexes, my biggest complaint with AM2R, the nest with,
Oh my
with the
God.
Omega Metroids.
Let's do it. The same one with no change in environment 3 times.
Not only that, but the environments you fight the Omega Metroids in, it's too cramped. You can't move
Yeah.
around in it. Like it's the
Just-
way
Just screw attack the wall into the corner. And it'll
Yeah,
run
I
away
just
from you.
morphed into the hole
I morphed in the hole.
and
That's
waited
what
for
I
them to turn
did.
around.
That's stupid.
They were literally just damage sponges.
Yeah, and then they will just turn around and then jump back, and I just rinse and repeat. Why? They should have just raised the ceiling at that point,
I
or just
don't know,
increase the
man.
running area.
I don't know. I think the Metroids were certainly the weakest part of the game. But I will say what they did right was that, and as Mauricio said earlier, this is the main thing they did for, is to force you to explore the areas. And I think they did that really well. Like in terms of progressing through the game, they're pretty good. It's just actually fighting them is just laughable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, keep in mind a lot of these things, like the enemy placement and stuff, that's taken from. This was an old Game Boy game that they made better with
Right.
better controls and everything.
yeah.
So a lot of that stuff is holdover. But yeah,
I dig it.
Also, though, the final boss fight was awful.
yeah,
See,
it was. I mean,
I
it
didn't
was
think it was
just
terrible.
easy.
It was easy, but like it wasn't like nonsense. It was okay. You bait out the attack, you shoot him. You bait out the attack, you shoot them. Shoot the green things or dodge them, whatever. Bait out an attack, shoot them.
Yeah.
All right, this
Yeah.
should be over, but it's
Okay,
still
no,
going.
no, no.
Okay, this should be over, but it's still going. Okay, this should be over by now, please.
Yep, I completely agree with Mitch. Yep.
It's like this-
Yep.
See, I actually messed up. See, I got to it and I literally thought it was impossible, but that was because I didn't have plasma or wave, and
What?
I used all
How'd
of
you
my
skip
rockets,
those?
and I did.
Wait,
And
what?
I tried to kill it with all the rockets that I had, and that wasn't enough damage.
Did you shoot it while it was invincible?
No, I mean I hit every single rocket, and that wasn't enough.
How many
Did
did you
you-
have?
So
Did you
Maybe
collect
70
rockets
and-
from the?
Oh, I had like
4 or 5
100
big.
I had like 150 at that point. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like
Wow.
150.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're only at
You-
60, huh?
You were loaded at that point.
Wait, Laron,
Yeah.
how many missiles did you have?
Maybe 75, 78, something like
I had 70 and I barely played through the game.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
This
maybe-
is
okay.
just- This
Well, I
is the
just-
most interesting thing I've ever. We all
I guess I
went
got
such
bored.
different ways with this game.
Well, either way, I had to go
That's
back and
part of
get
why it's so
plasma
great,
and
though.
wave. The plasma and wave beams, and then the boss was a joke because you could shoot the green things and they'd actually die. Because without that, it was impossible to kill those, and I needed more missiles. So I literally couldn't beat the fight until I went back and got the other 2 items I missed.
I felt the same about Torizo, but like I
Torizo
had
was the only good. Well, not the only. Was the good boss. But then I found out you could roll under his legs, and then
Wait, you
became a
can?
joke. Yes,
yeah.
That's great.
you just roll under and then get behind him and span. I mash, shoot.
See, I thought he was good because like he had a very defined move set that was. Again, I'm he was predictable, and he wasn't too easy, he wasn't too hard. And then you get to phase 2, and it's just why who put this in the game? Please no.
I actually thought phase 2 was fine.
I mean, it was easy, but like it was just obnoxious.
Yeah, by the end of the game, I had 175 missiles. 10
What?
super missiles and 6.
I had
power bomb.
78, like 4 and 4 or something like that.
How do you have 78? You get them in increments of 5, don't you?
Yeah.
You get what?
You get them in 5.
No, you don't. You
Yes,
get them in
you do.
increments of 2.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
you definitely do.
I guess it's different
Really?
for hard.
Oh.
That's why I was like,
That's
there's no
why
way.
you had so many fewer missiles.
Really?
There's no way I missed that many.
That's really interesting.
Okay.
Once you said 5, it's definitely increments of 2 for me.
Ah,
How'd you end up with an 8?
what do you mean? It's increments.
Don't you
of two.
Increments of 2.
Don't you start with like 15, or do you start with 10?
Yeah, you start with 10,
Oh, okay, then I'm retarded. Never mind.
and you might start with 4 in hard. I don't know.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I had to go back and get plasma beam and wave beam, and then the boss was a joke.
I didn't realize that Lerone played the game on hard,
Yeah, he did.
showing everyone up.
I didn't realize I had less missiles than everyone else.
A lot less, apparently.
Still don't understand why you think double tapping to morph ball is bad, but okay.
Well, I did a lot of jumping and going into the corner, so like if I had double tap to do that, I don't even know if that'd be possible.
It's entirely possible.
I honestly don't. I hate the controls, and I don't know if saying hating the controls is right, but like,
But it wasn't a problem once I figured out it was an option.
Yeah, press X to morph ball.
press X.
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 It was like
Mm.
R2 or something.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
it was R2.
GameCube controller. Sorry.
Oh, okay. But is it,
Even then,
was it
I-
not the trigger?
Remaps like every single button.
Oh, you can. Okay, so you remap them. Okay.
Well, yeah.
All right, that's
There's
a good
like-
option too. So I hate when games have options like that.
That's cool.
I played with a 360 controller and had
Same.
0 problems.
I played with a
no.
360 controller and had a bad time, but that's okay.
You didn't use a
I'll just
D-pad?
say
I didn't use the
the-
D-pad. I didn't think to use the D-pad. I don't know why.
I'll just say that after I got
Interesting.
the infinite jump, I had the time of my life because I was finally done dealing with the game's esports.
Preach.
I don't. Platforming was fine. I don't really get the.
Yeah.
I could just literally skip everything.
I don't know, man.
Snake Dragon thing at the end was awful.
Well, let's save the bosses for later.
Okay.
Let's continue with the video because I want to talk about what I like about the game.
Oh yeah, okay.
'Cause I have. All right, this video section isn't very long, as you can see, because I only started recording halfway through the game. And I'll just go over this. I think this first one's a tutorial. Yeah, this is a tutorial. So this is just kind of showing one of the tutorials in the game. You blow that up, and it teaches you both that one, that ball is used to open doors, and you can move them with your bombs. You can pause it.
Yeah. I
Um.
don't worry. I got you. I got you.
It fucking dies. So yeah, that was just like, I really liked how it showed you that, and there's a ton of examples. Like for the bombs, it locks you in a room, makes you figure out, makes you figure out how to use them to get out. The sprint, you can't get out unless you sprint through a transition. It's like you actually have to sprint through the door itself and realize you carry your momentum through it. It wouldn't let you leave until you knew that. Yeah, here's what I noted. As ultimately, I never felt that I lacked, or at the very least was very aware that I did lack the tools needed to progress in the main path. I think it was very good about telling you what your limits were.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Of course, optional stuff, completely different story, but that's optional. Like
Yeah.
for example, I did not learn until after I beat the game that you can somehow turn your sprint into a straight up jump, and I'm still not terribly sure how to do that.
So I was about to ask you guys.
So,
Hmm?
so that's shine sparking.
the
so
shine
when
spark.
when
Yeah,
you're
it's called
running,
Shine sparking?
yeah, that's yeah. So when you're running and you're in the boost, like you're glowing and you're going really fast, press down and you'll crouch, and then you'll have that for a couple seconds. And if you jump and hit a direction, but like not diagonally, like you have to hit perfectly left, right, or up, then you'll shoot in that direction until you hit something.
That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's,
that was introduced in Super Metroid.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's Super Metroid. I
think
actually knew that.
See, I think it's fine that they didn't tell you that because it wasn't required for the main path.
Yeah,
But it's not required.
There is like wall jumping or anything, but it's like that.
You also get wall jumping, which is cool. And I explained this earlier, not in the chat, but I use that to kind of meander my way around the world before I had the spiky roll.
Yeah,
It was just
I mean,
weird.
yeah, that's kind of how it's used for. It's just like if you know how to do it ahead of time, you can do cool stuff, access new areas, skip stuff.
I saw that was like really cool of to handle the abilities because other Metroidvanias, and of course I'm talking about Hollow Knight, they'll let you dig your own grave without ever telling you should stop digging. It's like, oh, here's
What do you mean?
I unlocked a new ability. This has opened 3 new pathways. 2 of them are going to waste an hour,
Oh,
and the third one is the one I have to take before I go to the other 2.
okay. So the Metroidvania games I've played,
That is not the case in this game. Note
that
that.
isn't really a problem. Yeah, maybe it's a problem in Hollow Knight. I don't know.
What you're saying, Julian, about the other Vanias you've played, Metroidvanias?
I played Aria of Sorrow, a Castlevania
Okay.
game for the GBA, and it's similar. It's similar to this game where like, you get a power up, you look for a spot on the map where you haven't gone to yet, and then what do you know? That's probably where you have to go. Not only that, but like, well, I'm talking completely about like a completely different game. So feel free to stop me. But yeah, basically, like in that game, the environments, like you see stuff, and you're like, oh, I can't get there yet, but like it's in your memory. So like when you get a power up, you're like, oh, I can get to that place now because I have this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Contrast that with, say, Dark Souls, which is a Metroidvania. Fight me.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
You beat a boss, and a locked door unlocks. Like just somewhere in the world. It doesn't tell you
Yeah.
that, and you don't get a key. The door just unlocks. It's like
Yeah, and like a door, it's more like just like this wall that's like glowing, and it's like I can't get past this at all. Like if for some reason you happen to reach that area,
and you
I
mean the
can't get
Artorias
past
door?
this. Huh?
You mean the one where you need the seal of Artorias, or like the glowing walls that go away after you beat Ornstein and Smarrow?
That's the one I was talking about, the glowing ones.
So those you at least have the whole I need to come back here later. But you go up against a locked door, like there's a key somewhere. This is probably optional.
Yeah.
Like the one right next to Solaire that unlocks after you beat the gargoyles. Like that's not even in the same area as the boss you beat. That one in Bloodborne in the church. Like you go to the church and it kind of acts as a hub, and there's this door that most people don't even know that door exists. They're not even aware that it's locked.
I mean, some of that stuff in the Souls games, they're really good about it because they make it so you interact or see that or run into it, and then you'll think, all right,
like
cool.
50-50, and then like I don't know. I did not run into anything like that in this game, and I was very happy.
Yeah.
Or as Mark Brown puts it, oh, we can run through walls now. Okay.
Mark Brown.
Game Maker's Toolkit. That was like the entire joke last week. Is that I based most of the discussion off of his video.
I didn't watch those videos. So.
That's fine.
His stuff is good though. Recommended. He's our sponsor
Hey,
this week.
so I just found out something interesting about the game. Not sure if you guys knew this.
Okay.
So I am playing right now. Spoiler alert.
Mm.
And I'm stuck. So I'm just going around trying to find out random stuff. So I went to my spaceship. And that's in a room without a ceiling. But if you just keep going up, you'll eventually just take damage and fall down.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's like in Breath of the Wild when you go out of the map, you're just like teleported out of it. Did you guys do that before? Like,
No.
All right. That's my whole Breath of the Wild segment. I'll stop.
I guess back to the video, because I can probably segment this back to my issues with controls if I've thought of them and I haven't, so we'll see.
Sure.
So this is actually the water level, which
That
I had a
okay. What was that clip showing? Because that was really short.
yeah. So pretty much, I'm. You want to scroll back like 5 seconds?
Yeah, that's
I'll get to the good stuff later. The bloopers.
yeah.
So essentially, I believe what happened was I missed a jump and I was falling, and then I wasn't gonna be able to grab that ledge, but then I turned into a ball and it gave me just the extra momentum I needed to grab the ledge. It was like, this game is so close to having the depth in the movement that would make it just amazing, but it's just crap. Like, that's partially my problem with flying, because they don't give themselves the chance to ever make you do any tight platforming. It's all just flying around the map, and when you're not flying around the map, they barely give you any chances to really explore the movement options. It's always just like, I'm gonna go jump to this platform and then left, right, left, right, left, right, land on it. Yeah.
So one of the things I think would have helped with the platforming a lot is analog controls.
It would have helped.
Yeah.
Sorry, you mean like being able to choose the arc of your jump?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, that would probably. Yeah, I think that sums it up well.
I don't understand. Could you clarify?
Basically, you've got one. If you jump, you've got one arc you can take, and it's going to send you straight into an enemy.
Well, like, just the fact that if you had analog controls, you could, like, it would just give you more options in your jump. Because, like, with digital controls, it's either you're going hard right, neutral, or hard left. So, like, if you wanted to do a jump that had, like, middle distance, you would need to just, like, alternate between neutral and hard right. Whereas if they had analog controls, you just don't push the control stick all the way.
It's interesting you say that, because I haven't encountered that kind of what you were
Yeah,
describing. I thought you had full control over where you were going in the air. It wasn't like I'm jumping and I'm dedicated to where I'm going to go.
What he's saying
Well,
is,
no,
it's
yeah,
not
it's
like
not
you're
that.
dedicated to where you're gonna go. It's just that, like,
No, I no.
if you want to land on a platform, you have to oscillate around it.
yeah.
Like,
Okay.
you can't just go in a single arc from that to the platform because the game won't allow it.
Right. It's
You
not.
can,
it's-
though.
And then you go back, and then you go back, and then you go back.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, you
think-
can. But okay, it's different because instead of being able to like control your movement as you're flying through the air, it's more of like you let go of the control stick at the right time, like as opposed to
That's kind of
Yeah.
sounds like platforming.
like strafing. It's just a clunkier way of doing platforming. I'm not saying it's necessarily wrong. It just when you've gotten used to more modern platformers and that do analog controls, it feels clunkier. But it's not really a major complaint for me, to be honest. So
No,
like, I got used to it pretty quick.
I-
Like it was annoying to me at first because I'm like, I haven't played a game that platforms like this clunky in a while.
I-
But
I
then
don't-
I got used to it, so
I
it
don't
was fine.
think they give you a chance to get used to it because they give you the ability to fly with like within half an hour or so.
Okay, I didn't find that in a half hour.
That was not half an hour.
No, yeah, Mitch, you're crazy. You did not get the
Half an hour
space
to an
jump
hour.
that quickly.
At least under an hour.
No.
No.
I don't think
Before
so.
the game,
No,
Torzo was like
Mitch.
what, the second, third boss?
I think he's like the first like major boss if you don't count the
There's
Guardian.
The Guardian and then Torzo, right? It was really early, like, within a fourth of the
It's
game.
like the first hour and a half. Like in that time frame.
Well, you also took an hour and a half longer than me to beat it.
Yeah, that's true. Because I was like trying to figure out Shine Spark puzzles and stuff.
And I saw those
So
ones
how
in
do
the
you
ceiling.
shine
I was like,
spark? Did you describe that again?
Yeah, so when you're running, when you're in the speed boost, so she's glowing and you're going really, really fast,
Yeah.
you meet like while you're holding right or whatever direction you're running in, just go immediately to down and she'll
Yeah.
crouch and she'll hold that energy for a while. For like
What
a
do you
couple
do with
seconds.
that?
Then you jump and press the direction in the D-pad of what you want to go. So if you want to jump up, you press jump and immediately tap up. And then you'll
Okay.
shoot right up. Or
Whoa,
left
whoa,
or right.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Try that out.
Girl? Metroid is a girl?
Yeah.
Right, my joke didn't land. Continue.
Dude, it's 2018. A guy can be a girl if they want to be.
True.
True.
Girls
Oh,
can dress up
jeez.
like Gundams if they want to.
I don't think anybody would have a problem with that.
But yeah, Screw Attack, probably best ability in the game, because you just, like, now you don't have to avoid the enemies.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
cool. I kind of, I wish I wish I had gotten to the point where I got Screw Attack.
Yeah, Screw Attack is really handy in like all the games because you're close enough to the end where it makes traversing the land much quicker and less of a nuisance. And
Yeah,
that's
I
really
feel
what the
like
Screw
they
Attack
gave-
is for.
They gave you screw attack at the right time for sure.
Yeah, like in Super Metroid and in Metroid Fusion and Zero Mission, you get it, and it's just like right at that perfect time where you're like, I have to go all this way. Holy shit! But that's okay because I'll just either fly through something that won't take damage, or I'll destroy whatever's in my way.
I
So
just kinda
hold
thought it was
on,
weird.
can I real quick? I just realized we never actually introduced what this segment that we're doing is whatsoever.
I was gonna mention that, but I
Didn't
guess it
we
was
call it, like,
assumed.
The book club? I thought
Yeah,
it was
the
Yeah.
book club.
Yeah, but I
like a
mean,
book club for games.
yeah, but the point is, we all played this game. We also didn't introduce what this game is, but
Yeah, you did. You said
That
That
AM2R.
is true.
AM2R is just the title. I mean, if you've never heard of this game, then
Oh, I see
like
what
you
you're
have
saying. I
absolutely
gotcha.
no context.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give us
Fine.
some
You did great,
context.
guys.
So sorry about that, everyone. We
All-
this is a new format,
all
so we're
All three of us watching.
yeah, we'll get better at it. Well, anyone who's listening from the future, sorry if this made
Enjoy
no
my
sense.
pic- the pictures of my
And they're
cats.
like, I wonder what they used to be like.
So the point of this segment is because Jake went on his own tangent. This point of the segment, we all play a game and we talk about it and we review it.
The same
and
game.
the same game. And AM2R was a fan remake of Metroid 2 that came out, I want to say last year or a little before.
2016.
Yeah, and it was taken down.
Don't
like,
ask how we got it.
It was taken down not too long after it came out by Nintendo because Samus Returns was coming out, and they were like, I mean, you know, it used a lot of assets from Zero Mission, which is like the main game that everything was based on. So rightfully so, you know, Nintendo exercised their rights and took it down. But I downloaded it before it got taken down, and it's available all over the place. People downloaded it and re-uploaded it everywhere. So it's not like crazy hard to find. So that's the segment. We all play a game together and review it and yell at each other because all of our opinions are vastly different.
And then we very much yell at Jake. It's great.
Yeah, Jake.
Also, for further
core grist.
For
that
further
don't work.
context, I am the only one in this group who was not able to finish the game in the deadline due to my health issues with my hands. So
I
Just
also
goes to show
didn't finish the game. I'm finishing it right now.
that's true.
He's
But
like-
okay, I got through by far the smallest portion of the game. I only got about an hour in, beat one boss. So
Dan might actually beat the game while we're here.
Yeah.
Sorry
Well,
for
I'm
spoilers.
like I actually have no idea what I'm supposed to do.
I
Like
just-
everywhere I've gone that I haven't like been able that I can't like advance is blocked by
Where?
bubbles, and I don't have the thing to get past the bubbles.
You have you don't have the ice beam yet. Okay. I just remember finding it.
Did you find
anyway, moving on with the podcast instead of helping Dan play.
Did you
thank
find
you,
the
Jake.
teleporters? It's up there.
Yeah.
It's up by the
Um,
teleporters.
Yeah. Anyways, good luck.
Continue, Jake.
Okay.
Uh,
I mean, yeah, I found the teleporters.
Continue
and,
with
like,
the video.
Alright.
You can laugh at my suffering.
Yeah, so Mitch, this is a section of video where Mitch, that is pretty hilarious. Where you get knocked out of the boss arena.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
happened to me.
Yeah,
That happened to me
happened
too.
to me a few times. Yeah, like not
And
really.
I had to restart because I
Yeah.
have a million
Oh my
missiles like you
God.
guys.
I restarted anyway.
I like this one because it double taps me by just turning around, and then I get up and it knocks me over when it's not even on screen. Like, come on. This one I expertly dodge all of its attacks, and then just space jump fails me.
And that is the video. I'll give that video a like.
So, what were your overall thoughts, Mitch, on AM2?
You guys have forced me to talk about a lot of things I don't like, but I actually do like a lot of the game. I give it a Yoshi egg with 3 spots out of 5.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
3.5. It's above average.
Nice.
It's basically what I gave it.
7 out of 10, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I've played through so far, that's about where I would put it.
An
So
hour.
I have not been able to mention one thing that impresses me a lot about the game,
Please
or
do.
I'm not sure if it impresses me about this game particularly, but so I had never played a 2D Metro game before this.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome,
That
welcome to the
honestly
club.
shocked me.
And,
Not like a
but I
bad
have
way. I was
played
just
Prime.
surprised. Okay.
I have played Prime, and I was like kind of amazed at how much this game reminded me of Prime, and like how good of a job the developers of Prime did at like keeping the feeling of exploration by transferring to like a completely different, like transferring to a third dimension and also a first person perspective.
Yeah.
Really dumb question. for you.
Nintendo was surprised by that too. They were
Like,
like, "Holy
I-
shit, you guys actually did this."
They did really like just like playing this game made me realize how good retro games did
Retro Studios.
retro studios did at like making a Metroid game.
Yep.
Like they
As a
did a
3D
good job.
first-person shooter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of incredible to me.
Don't kill you.
Yeah. One of the coolest things I liked about AM2R was because I played the Game Boy version before AM2R, and going through the areas, they were all very familiar, but they took the music that was initially I really didn't like it about the original Metroid 2. It was just weird and it didn't sound like it just sounded kind of dumb, but they were able to like redo it with all these different areas, and they gave each area a nice look to them, like art style wise. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Because they did that well with the Game Boy version, but you know, you only had 2 colors, gray or black and green or whatever. But yeah, they were able to like make each area very distinct. And the whole water area, that wasn't in there in the original one. They took some cool liberties that worked out. I thought
Oh. I didn't
it
know.
was really it was really cool.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that if you're playing it.
No, yeah, not at all. And and that little area where you play as the robot, moving stuff around, and you have to try and get your robot to the end of it.
Yeah, what was with that? That was a really.
That was a nice little change. I was like, oh, cool. I'm controlling something else. This is pretty interesting. That
Oh,
for
that was
sure
cool.
wasn't in the Game Boy version, and it was just a
Okay.
cool, nice little extra thing that they threw in. Just like, here you go. We're experimenting with stuff. I guess I don't know. Go for it.
Man, I tried so many times to blow up the fan that was in there, and then I finally figured out you can't do that.
Get chumped.
So I kind of have an interesting opinion, I guess, because I played Samus Returns. That was my first like 2D Metroid that I ever beat.
Jeez.
I played Metroid Fusion before, but I never beat it. Well, I had an Ambassador 3DS, and that was one of the Ambassador games, but someone stole it. So yeah.
So, anyways,
So yeah, Samus Returns, for anyone who doesn't know, it's Nintendo's remake of Metroid 2 on the 3DS.
also good, but they went a completely different direction with it.
Yeah, and I actually prefer Samus Returns, just because like I just thought the boss fights were superior in the way the Metroids look, and I thought exploration was better, and the spaces weren't extremely cramped.
Sorry to interrupt, but I heard the only complaint that I've heard about Samus Returns, and I'm curious if you have the same complaint, is that like oftentimes like when you get a new item or something, it tells you on the map like where to go next instead of you having to always find it yourself.
It only tells you that if you go back to the main area and then you like scan, and then it'll like show you where the next Metroid is. Oh, you mean like just?
Are you talking about like when the acid goes away and it shows the gate opening or whatever? No. Wait, what are you talking about, Jake?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Maybe I'm misremembering this, but like I thought that when you did certain things or whatever, it would like literally like like show you on your map with like a beacon. Like,
Do you mean the Aeon thing where you like it shows you the breakable blocks?
I don't know.
Oh my
Is that
God.
the
Maybe
3DS version.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he's talking about.
I never played that one, so. Now that
I
you
don't
played that,
I don't
think you know.
remember exactly what you're talking about, Jake, but
I
I
haven't played the game. This is just a complaint I've heard from other people, but I might be articulating it poorly. Carry on.
Cuz but yeah, I mean, Samus Returns, to what Julian was saying, I played that as well, and it was good, but it went different ways, and I felt like overall it was a bit slower than AM2R, just because
I
the
agree with
bosses, the bosses were very much like they were Metroids, but you fought them in vastly different ways, and you had to, okay, it's gonna go through this cycle, it's gonna open here, I shoot him there, and we'll do this cycle about 3 other times or whatever. At least with some of the later bosses. But AM2R was pretty much like, here's a Metroid. If you're good and you hit its hitbox every time, you can get through here no problem very quickly. And so AM2R for me was just way quicker than Samus Returns. But that's just like on the gameplay side, but also on the art and the music side. Samus Returns takes music from the Prime games and kind of reuses them. So you hear Magmore Caverns in like the lava areas, and it was really cool. Like as a fan, I was like, oh shit, this is like Magmore Caverns, this is awesome. And then I'm pretty sure they used the music from Meridia for the water area, and that's from Super Metroid. And I don't know, it's just really cool. But again, they did it vastly different ways. This one was like, yeah, that music, just kind of get rid of it, maybe redo one of the songs, and then just kind of redo the settings entirely. Don't necessarily do what was in the old game. So they're fundamentally different, and I can see why Julian's opinion for AM2R would be what it is. Playing that first.
Yeah, I don't think AM2R is a bad game. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's like, above
Perfectly
average.
passable.
Yeah. But I do think a lot of things are holding it back. The main thing I mentioned earlier with like the Omega Metroids and the NES, that's just a huge blemish on the game, in my opinion.
That part was so weird. Like, it's just the same fight 3 times in a row.
Can you give a little more context to that for those who?
All right, so you take a giant T-Rex thing. It's in a hallway.
For Jake.
Well, no, for anyone listening. I mean,
For Jake,
this should be a listen.
All right, so
Whatever.
the NES, if I recall correctly, the NES has 3 Metroids. They are all the same Metroid, and they are all in the same. They're all in the same hallway.
yeah.
It's not the exact same hallway, but it's like a repeat of that hallway. It's like you literally have the same fight over and over, except one of them is a mirrored version.
It's just
instead of entering on the left, you enter on the right.
Like, I really didn't like how low the ceiling was and how you couldn't move, and how you basically had to like just morph ball in the entrance, so the Metroid would like jump back, and then you just rinse and repeat hitting it in the weak spot. Just stupid.
I wouldn't say stupid. I would just say it's more of a test of can you identify what's going on, and can you repeat that to a degree that like you take as minimal amount of damage and aim as well. I don't know. I didn't have as big of a problem, but yeah, it was pretty damn annoying. I will say that, but it wasn't too big of a problem for me.
Yeah. I didn't like how all the warp points were at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I thought that was
I'll
a good
give you
touch.
that one.
Yeah.
'Cause there was
That
no
seemed
reason to
fine.
backtrack. Like,
Yeah,
once you got the warp points, you have just about all the abilities, so you can kind of go and just explore right before the final fight.
But see, I've been
Yeah.
spoiled because in
That's
Samus
true.
Returns, like they give you warp points throughout the game.
Huh.
Yeah. I just thought that was
Yeah.
just better game design. So you don't have to backtrack.
I mean, why would you backtrack before you got those?
If you wanted items, you're trying to 100%.
But like, why would you? If you're trying to 100%, why wouldn't you wait until you had all the items?
Yeah, all your
Okay.
power-ups.
Yeah.
I mean, I give the same treatment to Wind Waker. It's like, yeah, the whole world's here, but you can't explore it until you beat the game.
I don't know about all that. Not going on that tangent.
I don't know if it's just me, but like in the beginning, where like you see the claws, I didn't realize those were like puzzles used to slide those gray blocks that, like one of them had an E-tank, Like, do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What?
They're like, so in the beginning of the game, there are these like black claws that like light up
Yeah.
when you shoot them.
Oh yeah, I did find those.
Yeah, and then they move like
Yeah.
blocks in the
Did
game.
did they ever show up again?
No,
Okay, yeah, right. That was weird.
I didn't realize that they were like switches.
Well,
So when I first go ahead.
I've completely forgotten what this is.
I was just running around that room. It's like I saw the E-tank. It's like there's some way to get to that, right?
Yeah, I
was
shot
just
those
shooting.
things for a while and just couldn't figure out what they were
Yeah.
for. I thought it was some kind of like combo or something I needed to enter in or something like that.
I thought it was just like a block I couldn't destroy yet. So I was like, oh, I'll probably just come back later and get it.
I just assumed I had to get them all lit up at once, and that turned out to be the answer.
But yeah,
Wait, I swear I got them all lit up at once. What the heck? All right, whatever.
What was I saying? But yeah, that's why I was underprepared for Terizo, because I only had one E-tank. Because I thought you had to get those E-tanks later. And then I thought the boss fight was impossible. But then I was like, oh, wait a minute. They light up? I'm pretty sure I used the guide there.
Now you're saying you get Terizo after one of those.
Yeah.
So is it early in the game or late?
It's earlier in the game.
There you go. So you get space jump earlier.
Earlier, I'd say. Like an hour in.
Yeah, whatever. I feel like I had way more than just one E-tank at that point, though. But I don't.
You did. You probably had like 3.
Okay.
But yeah, I missed all of those too.
Yeah, I feel like they gave you a lot in the beginning, and then they made them really hard.
Yeah. But yeah, once I had like 3 E-tanks or whatever, I was able to beat them pretty soundly. I didn't think it was that hard then. Other things I thought the tester was like, I thought he was difficult, but I didn't like exploit anything to make him easier. So
I mean, the game clearly wanted you to fly around him and shoot him, and I just was not having any of that. I was like, I'm gonna stand on the floor, and he's gonna come down to me.
that's basically what I did.
It was trivial at that point. Like
Yeah.
the blue ones, you just kind of had to keep an eye out.
You're talking about the ball that shot in all directions, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he wasn't that bad. Wait, so you waited on the ground?
Yeah.
He would just come
Yeah,
down.
I did not see that.
You could just sit in the corner, and all of his attacks would miss. He'd just come down, and you shoot him. Because his attacks, they weren't random. It was a repeating pattern every time.
I fought him last, so there was no challenge.
What do you mean you fought him last? What?
Told you I missed
Isn't
wave
there-
and plasma.
How isn't the game linear, or did you find a way around it?
I didn't need wave or plasma gun.
Well, it's a
It's all
Metroid,
in.
so if he was able to get around it, he can progress up to a point.
The whole
without it.
part where you power up
But-
the water area, I just
but
straight
it's-
up didn't do that.
It's lava. How do you just tank the lava?
He's not a Metroid, so I don't have to kill it.
I don't understand. Are those bosses actually just optional? Is that what you're saying?
It's
Well,
not a Metroid. That's the only thing blocking the lava.
Yeah, you don't have to
But like
fight
the power,
the tester.
don't you have to power up that whole?
No,
tower
I
to get through
literally
it?
did not do that.
Is there a how?
You can get to the queen without doing that.
That is interesting. It's like I could not figure out where to go, like except for going to the tester.
I never had a problem knowing where to go.
Like what was that? Was that area like just still full of water or whatever?
Yes.
No. Or I guess so.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, there were all these white doors, and I was like, why can't I get in there? But I killed all the Metroids, so I just left.
Jeez. Let's see here.
Other stuff I didn't like about the game. I mentioned that snake water boss.
Oh my! What was that? He just
that
like,
was yeah.
he would just come
was
out of
the coolest
nowhere from
thing
one of
ever.
the. He would just come out of nowhere super fast from one of the screens. You just trade with him.
Yeah.
You do that until one of you was dead.
Mauricio, was that boss in Metroid 2?
Which one?
The snake dragon thing in the water area.
I've got it as
I-
Saris.
Saris?
No, Ceres is from Metroid Fusion.
Okay, so
Oh.
I just put him in the game.
Yeah, because Ceres, because in Metroid Fusion everything is like an X parasite, like not mutation, like a, what's the word for like, it's an image of something, but it's corrupted. It's not exactly like perfect.
Corrupted.
No, but like it's like it's like a copy
Facsimile?
of that's the one. It's like a facsimile of Ceres because they're all actually X parasites. So
I've
everything
never heard
you
that
fight,
word before.
I mean,
everything in
Bo?
Metroid Fusion is based off of an enemy from previous games, but they're X parasites. So that's where Ceres first appears, and this is like what Ceres might have looked like before it was like controlled by the X
it's
parasites.
kind of cool.
So I thought that was really
That's
cool. It's
cool.
like, oh
That's
shit.
The fight-
Yeah, there are a lot of small details in AM2R that's like, if you're a fan of the Metroid series in general and you've played the other games, here's a little like, hey, you'll notice this. Or even if you don't, it's like, hey, this is a pretty cool thing.
Oh, okay, so did anyone fight Genesis?
Yes,
Ron did.
I went
Because
back after I beat it.
I completely missed him.
I missed him too.
Was the fight any good?
No, he just goes from the floor to the ceiling, and spits acid.
Okay.
And he can jump on. He's actually hard if you try to get near him, but if you just stay away and shoot, then it's a joke.
What is Genesis supposed to be? Mauricio,
He looks like an alien.
an alien?
Like,
Genesis?
Like from Aliens.
Hold on. I forget Genesis. What is this
Yeah,
thing?
he's completely opposite. What did you get for beating him? Anything?
Nothing, but there's an E-tank there and a couple other things
So
in the
not-
area.
Okay,
But you get nothing for actually beating.
that's lame.
For some reason, I don't think I actually fought this Genesis character.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was optional. So,
Ron's
Oh,
a bigger
cool.
fan.
all right, and I cannot
Damn.
remember Arachnus. Was he optional? 'Cause I
That
do
was
not
the
rem-
the
I don't
rolling,
remember
the
fighting
thing that
him.
rolls, and you have to bomb him into the electricity.
Arachnus was the best boss fight.
I don't remember him at all, and I can't tell if it's because like I just blocked it out.
I'm
or if
pretty
just
sure I
didn't
fought
fight him.
Arachnus.
I did.
Yo, I'm mad.
Why are you
Yeah,
mad?
He
Arachnus
rolls
was in
into
the
a ball, and you place bombs.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I did
Arachnus
not fight
was
him.
in the original Metroid 2.
Yeah.
And then they reused him again in Metroid Fusion as like the very first boss fight. And so they used his sprites in this one. I'm pretty sure they just ripped the sprites from Fusion and put it in there. But yeah.
So
So what else I
I'm
got?
mad. That was way too hard to figure out.
What?
What are you
Okay,
talking
I have a new complaint.
Hmm?
Okay.
Ice beam,
Yeah,
Okay.
impossible to find.
that was just on top of the
I-
teleporter stuff, right?
I don't
What?
remember having any trouble with
I
that.
don't remember having trouble.
So, so to get the ice beam, you need to go to this room that is like it has an ice wall in it, and there's a hidden passageway, and there's like no indication that that hidden passageway is the way you're supposed to go. And I was just like, oh, this is a blocked area. I guess I'll go back after I get the ice beam. I don't know.
Are you sure that's not the way out of the ice beam area? You just took the exit in.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Oh,
I
I'm
remember that
fighting an
on
enemy
the
now.
way out.
Hey, weren't you guys just talking about this?
Was it?
Ceres?
Yeah. Did you just make it there?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do need ice.
Yeah, you knew guys. Yeah, he sucks. Good luck.
Good luck.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, he's a boss fight.
I hope you have health. Let me
Uh,
sift through my notes here, see what else I got. Music and enemy design are pretty cool.
I agree with that.
Like the enemies are. You could take them out of the game wouldn't change, but they still look cool.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Take them out the game?
Just take them out of the game.
Like you.
I mean, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but I
Yeah.
get the point.
I get what you're saying because they were like trivial when you fight them, but I don't know. I like the lore behind Samus Returns. You know, going to the Metroid home planet and defeating all the Metroids.
Well,
I
those
mean,
are not
that's
the
for
normal
all
enemies.
3 of the games. But yeah.
I was talking about like the random grunts.
Just
you see
talking
from-
about everything that.
Oh,
was-
you mean like the net? Oh, okay, yeah,
like
yeah. They were trivial.
like this guy who is literally just a flying crow head. I don't.
In the magma.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Here's a picture of him. If I can just throw it right there in podcast.
No, throw it in live chat, so
Live
the
chat?
audience
Okay.
can see it.
My cat.
Throw in the podcast as well.
Yeah, see, it's just like a crow.
Oh, that thing? Yeah.
You're like, all right, I dig it. You get some Bloodborne stuff in here.
Bloodborne stuff.
Yeah. That's Vicar Amelia right there.
See, I also
What?
really liked.
Yeah, I don't
seems,
get it.
That seems about right. Other random thing. Falling in the lava and poison is a damage over time. It's not an insta kill. I liked that. It gives you a chance to jump out. It also helped with
Yeah.
the platform being complete esports.
Oh my
You
god.
weren't just one shot killed because you just thought you could use the controls.
Wait. What?
Falling in lava does not kill you.
It doesn't
No. Was that it?
Yeah, the
serious?
boss fight is.
It's a joke. That's it.
Okay. He's dead? Okay.
So, I thought the game could use a checkpoint system. That might be a point of contention.
Oh,
I
thought
disagree with
I don't like
placement-
re-exploring things in an exploration game. That
Tough
you
I
get-
thought the
in like a
placement of-
Mega Man game where it's an actual challenge to the boss, it's fine. But
You
in
say
this game
tough
where
titty?
Yep.
where esports here, please. So tough esports.
That's a classic phrase, Julian. Don't give me that.
I
That
think
was
like,
funny.
you walk into a boss room and get a checkpoint. That's all I'm asking for.
They do that in Samus Returns. That I can understand because Samus Returns especially, it's like, fuck, I have to get all the way back here. Oh, no, wait, it starts me off back there. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's also like, oh, I picked up 6 missile pods on the way.
Yep.
I want to go re-get them.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, honestly, playing AM2R, I didn't have that much trouble trekking back because it was so fast.
and then
I didn't either.
And then the tester, like getting back to him was just a nightmare because it was like a 3-minute trek of just like blowing up walls and watching cutscenes, and it's like, God,
Wouldn't know anything about
there wasn't even any enemies in the way. I don't remember. I don't think
It's just,
you had to like dodge these like electric things. And
yeah, the electric things, and no, there's like 2 enemies. One with the there's like the one with like the shield that moves around that shoots the electric stuff,
yeah.
and some like another machine thing.
I just thought like something like that would have been nice. But
I
I did like how you were never, at least with the Metroids, you were never trapped in the boss room. You could go in, see, oh crap, a Metroid, and then go run all the way back to the save, and then run all the way back up.
Yeah, I like that.
I might have done that a lot.
So
At
you
Samus
wouldn't
Return-
have to if you had a checkpoint. That's all.
Yeah, Samus Returns. I think you're locked in the boss arena, right, Mauricio?
But
Yeah.
doesn't that also give you a checkpoint?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, you have checkpoints.
Yeah. You die in the
guess that-
boss fight, you start
Okay,
off
you
right
die
at
in
the
real
boss
life.
door. No. Nope.
Let's see here. Enemies, when they move, they just like kind of do it in a single frame or two.
That's fine.
What,
So they'll just
what do
move
you
like
mean?
they'll just kind of teleport around the map in very jagged ways. It's
Wait, what?
they move very fast and in very strange directions. It's I don't know.
Huh.
Like they're not really a problem, but it's just like it's so weird.
I don't remember that, but I don't know. Maybe you have some credence.
Not sure if I want to talk. The classic Metroids I thought were cool. Like of all the Metroids, those are the only ones I
Oh.
enjoyed fighting. I don't know
What
if
I
they're
really
actually
liked
called.
about what I really thought was interesting about the Alpha Metroid, not the Alpha, but like the one right before Alpha, I guess. Like the iconic looking Metroid. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, okay.
And when you freeze them, when they move, they keep moving. Like they have
Oh,
like inertia
Momentum.
to them.
oh,
Yeah.
So like
that screwed me over because they'd fall into a pit of spikes. And
Yeah.
I guess I'll just wait for them to
yeah,
come back.
or like in my case, I was on a platform and it was under me, so it had to loop around me, and I froze it in the air, but it kept going in a loop around me. And so if I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna miss it if I try to shoot it in the air. Ah shit, it went. All right, well I guess I have to wait for it to unfreeze, or if I want to get through this quickly, I got to go back down and do it. I thought that was kind of interesting because in the other games they freeze in space.
Yeah.
They just float
Yep, they
there.
just freeze in space. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
yeah,
like
and
gameplay that's much better, but that is just ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's way better because it's like it's there right in front of you because you just shot it, so you could just wail on it with missiles like really quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, in Super Metroid Zero Mission and Fusion, that's what happens, and in the original Metroid.
And I also like how they were the only Metroid in the game that wasn't just a complete bullet sponge. Like it didn't take 100
Yeah,
missiles
they
to
got-
kill them. It took like 5.
Yeah, they got walloped easy.
That was nice. I also
I
like
thought-
they grab onto you and you have to roll to a ball and blow them off.
Yeah,
I enjoyed them.
That's classic Metroid.
Classic. Yep.
Let's see what we're talking about bosses. All right. So I think in general about exploration, you know, you show up in an area, it's kill as many Metroids, do it in whatever order you so choose. I like that. It's never a
Yeah.
wrong way.
I agree with that.
Okay, so this one is not a complaint, but it is more of an observation. If there is a door, it is always on the wall. It's never like in the middle of the map. You never go into or out of the screen.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So
I mean,
thought-
that's just how
Yeah,
Metroid games
yeah,
are.
It's just how they are, but it's like, you just notice after a while, it's like,
I mean, I would kind of say that's easier to navigate a world because there's no like there's no foreground, background levels to a map. It's just left, right, up, down, and it's
Yeah,
easier
that
to look
would've-
at one huge map with everything all at once.
That would have made backtracking really obnoxious.
I
yeah.
would play the
I
shit out of
prefer-
that game though. I would totally play
Hollow
that.
Knight does a little bit of that for like buildings. So you go into someone's house, and it's just like you go into the map. And,
That's awesome.
Wait, what are you complaining about? Like, what do you mean doors in the middle?
This is not a complaint. This is an observation. But
He's saying it's interesting that doors are only on the ends of the screen. There's never like a door that is in the middle of the screen and you have to like press up and then you go into it or something like that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that Mauricio said that's just Metroid. Okay.
yeah. All right. So I have my last
Sorry, this isn't Super Mario World.
I said it's not complaining. I'm just observing. And now I have my last section called First World Problems. Honestly, I don't like Sticky Ball because it completely invalidates wall jump. But again, first world problem.
I kind of don't like the spider ball in general. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's too slow.
I mean, once
Yeah,
you get the ability
it's-
to
slow.
like once you get the ability to fly, it's like why even have it? You
Yeah.
can just fly up and stick to the ceiling. I like doing that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get really good, especially in this one because it's so easy to go into the ball form because they give you that extra button. I mean, down tapping is not bad, but like this one just makes it even quicker, and you just stick wherever you want. Like in Metroid 2, that was harder because you couldn't go into the spider ball in the air. You had to be firmly
Ah.
planted somewhere, then go into spider
Firmly
ball.
grasp it in
Oh.
your hand.
Yeah. But in Samus Returns, they got around that. They gave you the ability to go into the spider ball in the air. I'm pretty sure, so you could like jump towards a wall, go into the spider ball, stick on the wall, and then go up whatever direction you wanted. Am I wrong, Julian?
For Samus Returns.
Yeah, I'm
Repeat
pretty
that?
sure you could do that. I'm saying like you could go into the spider ball mode in the air, and then you were able to stick to like a wall. Like if you were jumping towards a wall.
I don't remember, but you're probably right. I think you can do that. Yeah.
So
I-
another note says I would have really preferred it if some of the stuff you blew up stayed blown up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is there a water level? I mean, the Varia suit just kind of invalidates it anyways, but
The gravity suit.
I swear my game called it Varia suit.
The Mario suit's the suit you get. It's your first suit, and the gravity
Yeah.
suit's like purple or pink, whatever.
The Mario suit's the one that gives you the 50% defense bonus.
Yeah.
I swear that was not how mine was, but I'm probably just retarded.
Respect
A
it.
little bit.
Esports.
Esports. So, what else we got on the list, Mitch?
Let's see. I don't like So they have that disruption puzzle that Dan was complaining about earlier. I don't really like how they did that once and then just gave you the power to invalidate them completely.
Disruption puzzle.
Yeah, where you walk in, it's like a blue wavy thing, and you can't shoot your gun.
Oh, that.
See, I would have.
Okay.
See, where I thought that was going is they were going to give you a way to like control your missiles.
Oh, I didn't even think about it like that.
You shoot the missile and then you gotta like guide it up and hit the right wall, and then you can like roll into it later. And nothing like that. They just kind of like, oh, blow up the floor before it, and then you're good.
I didn't even think the gravity suit would like invalidate that.
It did. You could use your abilities in it.
Yeah, I didn't think that would happen. I just assumed that was just like, oh, okay.
I mean, there were things you needed to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just thought they could have done more with it.
makes sense. I thought they could have done more with the ball thing too that you
Yeah.
brought up in your video.
Exactly. There's a small segment in the game, like towards the end, where you're running through nearest areas of waterfalls. You can fall into the waterfall and fall into the floor below you, but you can't go back up through that.
Yeah.
What?
But
Yep,
like, you
I
have the
remember
ability.
that.
You have like the ability to fly though, so why not?
It's to punish you for not being good.
As I said, first world problems.
How do you
my last one.
banish this dude?
Which dude?
Omega Metroid.
The green thing, right?
The green
Yeah.
spot.
But like, you can't do it from the ground. You gotta, short hop double laser.
Make a shot, yeah.
Guys.
Yep.
Guys, what?
What?
What is it, Jake?
Yeah, what?
You're just. Never mind. Forget it.
No,
Yep.
no, go ahead, Jake. Go for it. What is it?
No, just like you guys are like helping Dan play through the game.
Oh,
Oh.
There, like
I mean, we're already
it's
doing
part
the
of the
thing, so-
show.
giving him a
We're
tutorial.
discussing.
All right, so this is my last point, and it's probably my most important one. So at the very end, as you know, you hatch the baby Metroid.
Yeah.
The baby Metroid that comes
Yeah.
out of the egg is significantly smaller than the egg. Like, why is that egg?
Yes.
That's a
Wait,
nitpick,
what?
I guess.
It's to get you. Get played.
What? What is that complaint?
Yeah,
The egg is too big?
This is a first world problems list.
Oh my god.
This is the
The egg
nitpicking
is too
section.
big.
he breaks out, and it's like, aren't you supposed to outgrow the egg? Isn't that how it kind of works?
Eventually, yeah, as things grow, they get bigger than the egg. Sure.
No, but like in an egg, they're usually all like jammed up and stuff, and they get out of the egg and they like stretch out and stuff. You
Yeah.
know.
This Metroid, the egg just like exploded, and it's like a tenth the size of the egg, or like an eighth of it, and what?
The egg is just full of empty space, Mitch.
Is this thing just gonna die? Like,
It's not
Am I a
that
monster?
small. It's not that small in
And it's-
comparison to the egg.
it's pretty small. Mine, I had at least a fourth. I just saw it, I was like, what? Threw that straight on my first world problem list.
God, that's funny. Now I want to hold on. I'm gonna open up the Super Metroid cutscene right in the beginning where it shows the size of the Metroid when it hatches. Hold on.
The last Metroid is in captivity.
The galaxy is at peace.
Galaxy is in peace.
All right, how big
an
is this?
obnoxious fight?
I actually really like the first Omega Metroid fight.
The
In my,
first?
yeah.
I don't like how you said the first.
What do you mean?
He doesn't want to do
Why
more.
is it there's more?
Oh. Spoilers.
There we go.
All right, Mitch.
There's
The
the egg.
baby, the baby looks a little bigger in Super Metroid. I'll give you that. Looks a little bigger.
The baby.
So yeah, it's
The
like
baby.
it's like a third the size of the egg. I just posted a couple pictures.
The baby.
It's like, should it not be at least as big as the egg?
Not as big. No, because the shell. We don't know how thick the shell is. You don't know how thick the shell is. You don't know that.
Actually, I think I can find out.
It could be really strong. It could be really thick to keep the Metroid safe from cold conditions because, as we all know, Metroid are weak to cold. So there you go.
Okay, does it say that in the logbook that the Metroids are weak to ice?
I don't know. I never read the logbook, but it should.
No!
So
Ooh,
looking,
no.
I'm
What
looking
happened, Dan?
over-
I
Because he
left
died.
the room.
Oh.
So I'm looking at this frame by frame on YouTube, and it's very clearly a very thin egg.
I left the room, guys.
Ooh.
Ouch.
You left the room.
During the
With the
fight.
Mega Pirate, so he has to restart it.
Oh no!
That is a small quality of life thing that they maybe could have done a little bit better.
I like being able to leave the room because you can go like run if you're about to get your esports handed.
Yeah,
to you.
I wish they somehow made it like maybe if they like gave you a way to like a door that you had to open at least. Like a door that you had to
this
shoot
is
to
definitely
open.
not the first time this has happened.
Instead of just an open, like all the boss fights at least that I did, it was just an opening to go like leave the room instead of a door that you have to shoot to open. So like at least it's like a 2-step process to leave the room instead of like you can just take some knockback and get knocked out of the room.
I'm done playing Metroid for the day.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Go back.
No. Do I have enough missiles? I have 72 missiles. Is that enough?
Plenty.
Just use super missiles.
Do you have super missiles? Yeah.
Off-topic alert.
How
I
is this
got through,
off
I got
topic?
through
We're
all of
talking
my
about the
notes.
game.
Do what y'all
All right,
want.
Jake. Get us back on topic. Next topic. Mitch, what's the list say?
That was my list.
All right, that's his list. Back to Dan.
Anyone have anything to add? We can
Maybe
super
talk about why you
missiles.
had to kill a few Metroid.
I mean, yeah, Did you guys know to use the ice beam to kill the Metroids?
I did not know, but I
Yes.
figured it out.
I mean, I
very
just
easily.
shot it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
shot
just
it- I
shot
tried
to
at
put
it.
on the ice.
I shot it
Okay.
with a missile. It didn't work, so I shot it with everything else I had, and eventually it froze.
Because when I was playing
Wait.
Samus Returns, and I
Did
got
you
to
guys?
that, go ahead.
Did you guys turn off the freeze rate, the freeze beam, the ice
No.
beam?
You can turn it
No.
off.
You
Yeah.
can't.
I don't.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
Wait,
you
why would
can
you
in
ever
Super
turn it off?
Metroid. Yeah, I mean, well, because in Super Metroid and like this one, say you don't want to freeze enemies, you just want to like blast past them, but you don't have the screw attack yet. You could just rapid fire the button, and the wave and plasma beams are so powerful that it just destroys things really quickly. So
Actually,
if you don't
I
want to
think you
freeze them,
Space jump before.
right? But I'm
freeze.
saying like if you don't have screw attack and you're trying to get through an area,
Okay.
you
I
could
can
just
see
blast
what
whatever's in your way.
That reminds me, I really thought I said this earlier, but I thought that screw attack should have been able to kill the low level Metroids. But again, with that, I think the charge attack should have at least been able to hurt them too.
Nah.
I disagree.
Nah. I think the AI should have been way better. They should
Oh,
have
yeah,
been
I
like harder
agree.
to fight, and their hurt box should have been way bigger. That would be my proposed fix.
So I think
That
that
seems
would be
fair.
good for like the bigger ones. But the smaller ones, like you've already fought 30 of them. Just give me a way to blast right through them, or just stop spawning them, please. To their credit,
Nah.
they do that after a while.
So we have 2 minutes left in this segment. So any final thoughts?
Mitch
Oh,
basically said all my thoughts.
I didn't mean to take over, but it was a nice discussion.
Yeah. Final
Oh,
thoughts. It's
My
pretty
favorite
fun
boss
game.
fight. my favorite
Definitely
boss fight
play it
was
if you can.
Oh,
My
right.
favorite boss fight was Arachnus. I like
The,
how it took me a while to figure it out. All right. I'm done.
Except don't play it because we do not advocate the theft/piracy.
Oh my god, it's a fan remake.
/fan remakes on this show.
The Ancient
We
Guardian was
got we
pretty
gotta give
fire.
a rating.
It's whatever.
Yeah, everyone's got to throw out a number out of 10.
7 out of 10. Too much water.
There is a lot of water.
7.8.
Oh yeah, my bad. Whoops. I
Julian,
ruined the joke.
you've been slowly going up. Oh,
No, I'd give it a
never mind.
solid.
No, the meme is 7.8.
Yeah.
Like what Julian said, 7.8. I would give it. I think that's a very fair score because I'm between 7 and 8, but 8 just is a little too high, just
It's above
because.
average, but not particularly great.
What is that?
LaRoe, what are you doing?
Stop eating.
The Ancient Guardian was actually probably the best fight in the game. Like it was just really interesting because the walls
Yeah.
are closing in, and you're constantly looking at its eyes, trying to position yourself to dodge that attack.
Yeah,
trying not to ram into the
okay,
walls.
that fight could have been really good if it was difficult.
If it was
If it
difficult,
was
yes.
different.
It was at the very least. He said difficult. It was at
Oh,
the
difficult.
very least interesting.
Yep.
All right.
Like, I did die to him twice because I had like no health, but
I almost died to him, but I didn't.
yeah. Once I knew what the 4 attacks were, it's like, oh, okay, never mind. The only time I would ever take damage to him is when I messed up crouching.
Game was meh.
I give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I just don't know why you didn't like roll up into a ball and why did you crouch when you could roll up into a
Yeah,
ball?
that didn't cross my mind. That's a good. That's a really good idea. Now that you say it out loud, I feel kind of dumb for not turning into a ball. Well, they were like at the perfect height where you could crouch under them. So I don't. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could, but like I never tried to shoot him while I was crouching. I'm guessing you tried to shoot him and crouch.
No, you couldn't shoot him while that attack was
I
happening.
don't know if he was
Anyway,
right
so-
above you. Oh, once the walls get close enough, there's no way.
Yeah.
So 7.5 rated fresh. This game is rated fresh if you're one of those tomato people.
7. 6.9. Oh, 6.9.
6.9.
Actually, that's a meme. Okay, I can't say
Also, the
6.8.
contrarian.
Dan,
I'm not giving it a 7.
I think
He should beat it first.
a
It would
good,
protect the
not
integrity of
great
our
game.
journalism if people.
you
could beat
said
the
it
game,
was a good, not good game.
Good, not great.
Oh, not great. I'm sorry. Okay. All right.
I'll give it a. I have to give it a number.
I mean, you don't have to, but for
Actually, Jake demanded that you did give it an.
For sake of comparison, sure, number.
I think like 7.
yeah.
We're all in the same ballpark.
So, I guess the best takeaway from this is we all had vastly different experiences with the genre and the series as a whole, but generally, for the most part, which I think is hilarious, came to the same agreement. It's a good game. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I think it's a great
Yeah.
introduction to the
There
genre,
was-
and I'm
Yeah,
definitely
there
gonna
was a
pick up some
lot
more
that
Metroids.
impressed me.
I don't know.
There
I
was a
feel like
lot
if you
of-
started with this one, you'd be really spoiled, and you would not really.
That's the
If
best
you
part of an
really,
introduction.
if you really liked this game and you were like, I want to play the other games, I feel like you might get a teensy bit spoiled. Nah, actually, I take that back. Sorry, Dan, I cut you off. What were you saying?
What was I saying? Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, I was impressed by a lot of things. Like the exploration felt really cool. Maybe I'm just bad at video games, but I found the game challenging.
I think that was most of the movement system. Constantly forcing you to ram into enemies.
But there was some things that could have been improved. You know.
Yeah.
And I also
alright
think I
then.
should say this is like my first introduction to the genre. I haven't played a Metroidvania like ever.
It's a good start. I would say play. I mean, this is kind of blasphemous in like the Metroid fan kind of community. I would say start on Fusion because it's way more linear and it's just the movement is really good and snappy and that's the first one that gave you ledge grabbing. Before that, Samus could not grab onto stuff. It was just you jumped on the platform or that was it.
People only say that because Fusion's the last. Never. Is that spoilers if I say that?
No,
So it's the last game in the timeline, right?
that's yeah. I mean, I never really paid attention to the timeline, but yeah, Zero Mission or Fusion, I would say start off with, and Super Metroid because it's a classic.
People slurp that game. Like, people say
It's
the
really
best game
good.
ever made.
Which
I don't
Super
get it.
Metroid. Super Metroid has like the best atmosphere out of a Metroid game. Besides like the 2D Metroid games, Super Metroid does it perfect, like cinematic and atmospheric wise. And then Metroid Fusion I just liked a lot, but it was really linear, so a lot of Metroid diehard people hated it. And then Zero Mission is just really good movement and it's fluid and it's awesome.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about Super Metroid. Obviously, like I don't know how you avoid hearing good things about Super Metroid if you play video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, or if you know what AGDQ is, you'll remember the Super Metroid.
That's a little bit more accurate.
Azu sips.
Kill the animal.
Azu says Zero Mission is sick.
Save the animals.
See in the chat.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Save the animals. They
Kill the
taught her
animals.
how to shine spark and how to wall jump.
Fuck 'em.
Yeah. I only learned that
Animals
recently
are fun.
the animals actually like teach you the advanced tech. That's pretty cool.
You've been
Animals are
watching a lot
cool
of Mark
guys.
Brown, haven't you?
What?
You've been watching a lot of Mark Brown lately, haven't you?
I mean, I've just whenever he makes a new video, I watch it.
Brown, Leroy Brown, baddest cat in the whole damn
But
town.
unless there's any last things to say, I think that's all we got for AM2R before we
That's
go
pretty
into
much
our.
went over all my notes. So yeah.
So our last little mini news segment at the end here is 2K asks players to contact local government about Belgian loot box ban.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
By the power, I agree with them.
Basically,
Yeah, I don't know about ridiculous, but it's kind of funny just because nobody wants that, but they're pleading the case of like it's a necessity. It's it just needs to happen in modern gaming, but it's like nobody's gonna fucking do that. Gamers barely talk to anybody. They're not gonna go talk to their local representative and be like, "Oh, excuse me, could you put back loot boxes?" Nobody's gonna do that.
Yeah, that's basically 2K is like, hey, you guys should go and talk to your local government officials and tell them we want loot boxes back.
They can't be serious, right? Like,
Why wouldn't they be?
This is
They know.
an official statement that they made.
they know the infamy of loot boxes. Come on. I know they're a corporation.
In this, they say something along the lines of that they're an unfortunate reality of modern games or something.
They said that about microtransactions.
That's a euphemism for you idiots are all gonna eat it up. So we're gonna keep making it.
Yeah. So
I just like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this.
Don't they say that? Don't they explicitly call out that loot boxes aren't gambling or something stupid?
yeah, it says that the loot box style mechanics violate gaming laws in Belgium. We disagree with this position, but we are working to comply with BGC's current interpretation of these laws. So,
Like, do they not think people have like their own mindset, like about loot boxes? Like, why are they asking people to rally for something like they probably don't believe in?
I mean,
if you're a
I don't know if
fanboy of
that's the first
2K,
thing
then I guess you might be.
yeah, I don't know if that's the first thing you should jump to. I mean, they're just putting it out there. It's like, hey, if you do agree, go for it. But they're not, I don't really.
Not
You're saying
everyone
though?
finds it as
Like-
gambling.
When I think of government activism, pretty much the last thing I think of would
Is a
be
gamer.
contacting your governor to keep loot boxes.
Yeah, I just have a
Yeah.
feeling this isn't. No one's gonna be getting up in arms about this in
Hey,
Belgium.
Mr. Governor, can you fix my video games? It's not
Not
gonna
even
happen.
fixed. Can you let companies continue to make them crappy?
Hey, Mr. Governor, can you continue?
I'm trying to give 2K $100, but you won't let me.
Can you let
Please do
companies
something about this.
esports me in the esports, please?
Yeah, pretty
Whoa,
much.
Esports.
Esports, you in the esports. But
Yeah. No, seriously. Who likes loot boxes? Who's like, you know what? The method I want to use. to
People who have an
obtain-
addiction to loot boxes.
There are sheep out there.
I mean, yeah.
yeah, Charles has got a point. I like loot boxes because they make me feel like I accomplished something,
Right.
Oh my.
like unlocking Luke
Sure.
Skywalker.
Like I'm locking.
That's a really good point.
I didn't think of that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we should really start riots in Belgium over
We
this.
should sell loot boxes.
We should sell
We should
loot
sell
boxes.
loot boxes as part of the stream. Yeah, that's a
We
good
should-
point.
We should sell loot boxes, and the loot boxes should contain evil.
What's the rare stuff?
The rare stuff, a
Jake-
personal visit from one of us.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
well. Are these blue boxes like $1,000?
It costs the same as a plane ticket.
Right, each of the loot, the loot boxes are $100 each, and it's a 1 in
Don't worry.
100 chance of us.
Don't worry, we don't have to post the rates, so we could just make it.
Don't tell them the rate.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, we'll adjust the rates based on who you are, and how.
Yeah, based on your past loot box
How
buying
far away you
habits.
are.
Yeah, we'll adjust your rates based on how often you buy loot boxes. So that'll be what we do.
And if you're international, you cost more.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, if you're from overseas, we have to loot boxes are 10 times as much in case you accidentally win a plane ticket. And that's also our sponsor this week, 2K. Get your head in the game or whatever.
It's EA Sports. Jesus Christ.
That was the joke. That was the joke.
in the game.
That was the joke.
Brought to you by the upcoming 2K game, High School Musical. Get your head in the game.
Challenge everything.
Okay, you're right.
And I know it's over, but be sure to enter Mark Brown's Game Jam. Really cool stuff. I mean, the deadline's already passed.
Oh, well, we can talk about that later. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Wait.
Brown,
Go to
Brown,
our friend's game.
Leroy Brown.
Game jam.
Shout out to Azu.
There's still one more thing to do, isn't there?
What's
Oh yeah, the Shenmue.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shenmue, someone reviewed it or something.
Yeah, Donkey made a video and he called it a piece of gaming's history that is also complete Donkey Balls. Sorry,
Yep.
Donkey Esports.
Is that
That's-
even
yep.
okay?
Azu says Fate actually has something similar to that. We call the pity rate. I'm not sure what he said.
I have no idea what that is.
The panty raid.
The pity rate?
Pity rate.
Oh,
I guess
is
you're
it
gonna
like
miss the panty
is it like
raid.
if you've
Yeah.
like gotten a bunch of like duds in a row for a loot box where it like
Oh,
makes
Fire
your
Emblem
rates
Heroes,
better?
okay.
Fire Emblem
Oh,
Heroes.
Fire Emblem
Yeah.
Oh.
That's right.
It's like
They're treating
exclusively
Farron
for
about
Wales.
Yeah.
I didn't get that acronym until Mitch said it. I thought he was talking about a game that wasn't Fire Emblem Heroes. Okay.
I
Fair.
thought he said Fate, so I was very confused until I went and read it myself.
Okay.
That's
I didn't know
what-
that was a thing in Fire Emblem Heroes.
Damn. But all right,
Oh.
everyone. That's all we got for you tonight. This has been Best of 6. Y'all have a good one.